Hi, my friends. Hope everyone is doing great today. So, today I want to talk about a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. Let's talk about rejection. Now, that doesn't necessarily has to be like romantic rejection, although it could be, and we can focus on that, I suppose, but that goes for any type of rejection that you may have gone through or suffer to, endure to in your life, in your journey. So first of all, I know that my prior recordings to this one have been um, kind of bad on the sound aspect of things. So that should be addressed now. I went out and I bought a microphone, and as you can see, I'm using the thing right here. Okay, so let's hope that from this point on things are a lot better. That you guys can hear me much better. And if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the content, you're very welcome here. This is a space where I talk about my life journey, my experiences, and all the things that happen throughout this spiritual development, spiritual growth. So, if you're new, you're more than welcome to watch, my older contents, everything I posted prior to this. Just be mindful that, the volume is not that great, and for best results, I encourage you to wear earpieces or headphones, and it'll be better that way for sure. And hopefully with the microphone now things are going to be a lot better. So with that out of the way, let's talk about rejection. So first of all, when it comes down to romantic aspect of things, and this is going to be mostly for my male audience, okay, but it applies to the ladies too, so don't feel left out. So whatever I say here for the man will also apply to the ladies, okay? There's no discrimination here. Everyone is welcome. So the reason why you get rejected by women or by men, two things. Well, there's more than two, but let's just stick to the main reason, okay? There are lots of people out there that carry a lot of their own baggage, a lot of their own issues, a lot of childhood trauma, abandonment problems, issues, prior relationships, all that baggage, all the stuff. There are a lot. Sadly, it's sad to say this and acknowledge this, but it's just a fact of life, guys. Let's just be real about this, okay? I try to be very sincere and raw about what I say, because there should be no sugarcoating when it comes down to life. Life is rough for most people, especially those that don't acknowledge, the reason for us for being here in the first place. So because of that, people, I've said this in the past, I'm going to say it again, okay? You attract what you are. So if you're a person that you are carrying a lot of psychological issues within yourself, no matter what caused that, okay, let's say you were rejected yourself. Let's say you have abandonment issues, childhood issues, because your parents weren't the greatest parents on the face of the earth. And let's face it, there's a lot of people out there that didn't have the best parents. Okay? It's just the way it is, unfortunately. Life is complicated until we find out that it really isn't. That's the other thing. But until we wake up to the reality of the situation, life is complicated. That's just a fact. You can't deny that. And that will cause a lot of problems for you personally when it comes down to the psychological aspect of things. The way you see yourself, the way you treat yourself, is going to have everything to do with the people that you will attract into your own life, your own journey, your own experience. So there are many women out there that are looking for the perfect guy, right? And the problem is they always look for the superficial things, not 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 the depth and the things that matter. I don't know how to put this. Okay, let's say you know how women have checklists. Men have to, so don't get me wrong, it goes both ways. But women have checklists. They want a guy to be a certain height. They want a guy to make a certain amount of money. They want a guy to be good looking, ripped, this and that, blah blah blah. So they don't usually look for the inner aspect of things and the things that matter, the depth, the soul aspects. So if you are one of those people that you are genuine, you try to be yourself, the best version of yourself, you are an authentic person, you don't walk around wearing a mask like everybody else, you will meet people, you will attract people to your life that they may have a lot of things in common with you on their subconscious level. But outside of that, not so much. Another way of putting this is, instead of the subconscious level, let's say the soul of that person has a lot in common with your own soul. You can call these things soul contracts, karmic contracts, um, the terms and words that a lot of people throw out there that shouldn't be thrown out there the way it is thrown out there, but that's just the way it is. Whatever you want to call a soulmate, twin flame. I've talked about this in prior videos that I don't really buy into that stuff the way most people do. That's not to say that those things do not exist. They do, most likely, and they are extremely rare. And when you do happen to stumble across someone like that in your life, the biggest reason why that will happen is to teach you lessons. So in most situations, that doesn't necessarily mean it can be that in some cases, okay? But in most situations, you're not meant to be romantically involved with that person. That person only showed up in your life to give you major lessons about yourself so that you can grow to all new heights and all new levels and move on with your journey, so that you can find the person, the one, if you want to call it that, if that's what you're looking for. Because some people might be okay with not having anything like that in their lives. If they learned everything they had to learn, it's just how it works, guys. The reason why you get rejected, it has nothing to do with you. In some cases, it may, if you're not a spiritual person and you're not working on your healing, working on yourself, yeah, then yeah, most likely it was you. Let's be real. We do things to people that people don't like sometimes, and some people don't tolerate certain types of behaviors and certain types of things, certain types of attitude towards them. And it's only fair, right? You want to be treated fairly. You want to be treated, or you expect to be treated. I want to be treated. I don't expect the way I treat others. So, if you're the type of person that, when you get involved with someone that way, let's say you run into some sort of soulmate, they're there to teach you lessons. That doesn't mean that there won't be major magnetic pulls towards each other and physical attraction and all these things, but there might be many other things in the way, and that's not all. The reason why they're there is not for you to get involved with them most of the time anyway. It's just for you to learn and grow. That's one of the greatest gifts. So in most situations, that person, you're gonna scare them so much. And that goes for both men and women, okay? You're gonna scare them so much. You're gonna trigger all these things within themselves. They're gonna be asking themselves so many questions. It's like they're gonna be spiraling in all different kinds of directions because they're not working on themselves. They don't understand these things. They don't even know what's going on their end. So for them, when they feel that way, what they will do in almost every single scenario is they will pull away, and they will either ghost you, run away, and reject you. That's how it works. But I want to reiterate that and say that again to you folks. That is not your fault. That had nothing to do with you. If you've been doing your part, if you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's just they saw this realness in you, this authenticity, this raw, vulnerability emotion, wide open in front of them. And they never experienced something like that in their lives. So the first reaction that they're gonna have is they're gonna reject. It's like it's a defensive mechanism of the psyche that people do these things because they don't understand what's going on. They never had something like that. They never had a person like that in their lives before. And when they finally experience the real deal, someone who's truly wide open, honest, good person, open-hearted, open mind, and you just put it all out right in front of them. Yeah, that can be scary for a lot of people. Not just romantically speaking, but anybody. Friends, acquaintances, co-workers. This has everything to do with the video that I posted before this one about the reason why, people feel uncomfortable about you. That's why. because you're real. People get triggered by that stuff because they refuse to be themselves, or because they're too scared to, because they want to fit in with the crowd. But you're not here to fit in with the crowd. You're not here, you are here to be yourself. Because when you do that, you're going to turn on this magical button in your life. And everything is going to start working out for you in every single way. It's going to be great. I'm telling you. So this is really the reason why people reject you. Romantically, as a friend, that's what happens. Most people out there, it's getting better now though. It's getting better, okay? People are slowly starting to realize things. But every person development and growth is a very personal thing, and some people are going to grow much faster than others, and some people are still doing their first baby steps. So sometimes, if you have connections, like that and whatever, you gotta be patient, and not only that, just understand that, don't overthink stuff. Stop overanalyzing things. That's not the purpose. The purpose is people like that, they will come into your life at a pivotal moment of your life when you most needed it. And it's only to awaken these deeper aspects of yourself within you. That's all that's there for. And once you learned and you grow from it, you just gotta move on. Just move on. You're always moving. We're always moving throughout life. That's how it works, guys. So, if you're feeling, stuck or stagnant in a specific situation, especially if it's related to things like that, just know that you're doing that to yourself. Like I said, you have all the answers. You know deep down inside what you want, what is best for you. And if you're connected with your intuition, once again, you know. You will know when you've learned. And then you will know, okay, I've got this, I understand now. So let's move on to the next phase, to the next stage, to the next level. And that's basically what rejection is all about. It's not only that the people who do these things to you, they're not even doing it on purpose. In their subconscious, they're connected to you in so many ways, so many levels. But that's the subconscious. On the outer aspect of things, they don't even know what the hell they're doing to their own lives. And it's not your job to fix that. You can't do that for other people. This is what you need to understand, guys. For the most part, you can't fix somebody else. They have to willing to do that themselves. They are the ones who have to start this whole process. You can't do that for someone. You can give them some, inspiration, motivation, provide them the tools to do it, but you can't not do this to somebody else. It's just not possible. Inner work, self-healing, shadow work, all of these things, whatever the heck you want to call them, it's a very personal journey. And you have to do it yourself. And then once you reach the proper stages of the journey yourself, these things will naturally come to your life. Not only you will be ready, but you have earned that. And when that happens naturally, in that sense, that's when everything is going to work out and everything is going to be great and everything is going to be like you're going to be thinking that you're dreaming. You're not even going to believe yourself, because that's how it's going to work. That's how you're going to feel. You were rejected for your own development, your own growth. It had nothing to do with you. So, before you start blaming yourself, and if you are blaming yourself, if you're still blaming yourself for something like that, stop. Do yourself a favor and understand what that really meant and what it was there to do. It was for your own good. Be thankful that nothing happened, and be thankful that it didn't work out, because it simply wasn't meant to be, guys, girls. It's that simple. If everyone was capable of dealing with the scenarios the proper way and understanding the outcome of things, we'd be living in such a different world today. It's not even funny. But people refuse to learn the lessons sometimes, sadly. And that's how it works. So, like I usually say, the process is simple. It's not complicated at all. 22:22 on the timer as I'm recording this, if that means anything to anybody. And this is what happens, guys. That's what the whole purpose of the whole thing was for. And there's a possibility, pretty high, I would say, that things like this will happen to most people multiple times in their lives. Many, many, many times. And the people who don't learn from these things, they will end up getting completely broken psychologically speaking. If you run into someone like that, just turn away and run. You don't want to be dealing with somebody like that. You will see the signs right away. You know, red flags are, I hate calling it like that because it sounds bad, but but red flags, they are so easy to spot if you're aware. It's been there the whole time. You were just in denial mode, not willing to see and not willing to recognize all the patterns and all these things. It's very easy, guys. It's very easy. But this is really all I wanted to talk about today when it comes down to, rejection. And that's what it is for, and that's what it's meant for. There's nothing else to it. Very simple. And with that said, my friends, like, subscribe, share your own thoughts if you feel like doing it. Just remember, this is a space where I expect everybody to be respectful to each other. And if I see anything in the comments that doesn't abide with what I expect from myself and others, it's nothing personal, but I will remove it. This is my space. Just keep that in mind. Everyone is welcome here, but, we have to be kind to each other. That's all. So, I love you all, very much so, from the depths of my being, the bottom of my heart, with all my soul. I really do, guys. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care, everyone.